How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to talk about Devilman. I am super stoked to read the Devilman manga because I never have before, and people say it's a big inspiration for Berserk, which I can tell, and also Neon Genesis Evangelion, however you want to fucking pronounce it. I don't really care. It's a great series. You should watch that too. But anyways, I'm going to read Devilman, and it's a very short manga. It's only 5 volumes long, so I'm going to be reviewing them volume by volume like I've done in my other manga reviews. And also, just so you guys know, my history with Devilman is this. I have seen the old OVAs a long time ago, and we're talking like back when I was first getting into more adult anime, not hentai. That came later. NANI? This is after I'd already seen like Dragon Ball Z and all the Toonami shows and whatnot, and I started getting into kind of the more adult-oriented anime, the Ghost in the Shells, the Akira, the Ninja Scroll, you know. I was very fortunate that the Blockbuster I had in my town at the time, if you don't know, Blockbuster is a place where you used to go where you had to rent movies instead of just watching them on streaming services. I know, primitive ages. But they did have some of the Devilman OVAs, and what I can say is that the Devilman anime series from back then has an amazing English dub. If you have not seen Devilman, the 90s anime, in the English dub, please do yourself a favor. Or if you don't,
I don't give a shit.
However, I didn't, go out of my way to collect Devilman. I didn't kind of rewatch it over and over again. It was a series that I only really watched back then. So we're talking when I was probably 13, 14 years old, and I haven't seen it since then. So I do have some memories of the Devilman anime, especially some of the English dub moments that are just a goddamn gem.
He tried to kill you? Incredible. And then he died.
But other than that, I don't really remember the storyline. I don't remember where it goes. I don't remember where it ends up. I don't remember how it ends. I know a lot of people talk about the ending being really good. I don't really remember. Now, when Devilman Crybaby came out, which was kind of a remake, new style animation of the original Devilman story, I remember I did check it out, but again, I don't think I finished it. I don't think I watched the whole thing, and if I did, I don't really remember a lot from it. So I'm coming at this with a very kind of fresh perspective. I'm coming at it almost completely blind, other than just knowing a few things that are coming up in the story, and mostly what I remembered was from this first volume. I remember how Devilman opened. I remembered everything with Ryo and taking him into the club scene and everything like that. So this volume was basically what I remember of Devilman. So moving forward will be something brand new that I can't wait to experience. And I can already see, and this is mostly a Berserk channel, and I can already see the influences that this had on Berserk. Another reason why I want to check out Devilman, not just because of the influence it has on Berserk, which is my favorite series, but also because I wanted to kind of step back into earlier manga. I wanted to step back and see, the origins of where some of this stuff came from, some of this style of storytelling, and some of the kind of bigger, more popular or more influential manga of that time period, of this like 70s, 80s, things of that nature, because if you guys don't know, I'm actually kind of fairly newer to manga. I know that might surprise some of you, but for real, the only mangas I read when I was younger were, Dragon Ball, Kenshin, Hellsing, a couple of mangas here and there. It wasn't really until I got into Berserk that I started checking out manga a lot more. So ever since then, I've been kind of like wanting to dig my teeth into the more kind of classic, influential stuff. Right off the bat, the first chapter of Devilman was quite the trip, and I didn't remember any of this from the anime. I know it's in there somewhere, but I didn't remember this. And it takes us back to the prehistoric ages, where you have this kind of like demonic thing rising up from the ground, basically this big mass of all these demonic creatures, which I believe are kind of fusing together, because what it talks about in this volume is kind of the integration of demonic beings into living or non-living things, kind of like a possession type thing, which is how these devils kind of evolved. This was their special technique. This was their special ability. What they did, they would kind of fuse with things and take on their attributes. So they'd fuse with animals. You saw like a devil fusing with a snake and becoming a snake-like creature, and it kind of goes into how Devilman is created towards the end of this volume. And so, like, what I think is happening in this first chapter, because it doesn't tell you anything, there's no dialogue, which I love, which I really like how it's just telling the story visually. And since there is no context, it really leaves it up to the viewer to kind of interpret what is happening in this first chapter. And I see this mass of kind of like demonic things rising up from the ground, and within it there is kind of a humanoid looking creature, sort of like an angel looking creature. And I don't know if it's particularly controlling it, but it might be kind of the essence of it, or the merged demonic creature that everything is merging into, if that makes sense. I don't know. And it's facing off against an angelic looking creature. So already we kind of have the concept of light and dark, and how they're probably both pieces of the same thing, because you can't have one without the other. You cannot have a one-sided mountain. I think that was Alan Watts. I don't remember who says that, but you can't have light without dark, and you can't have evil without good. They need to coexist in order for them to exist at all. And then we flash forward into the modern age, which would be, I believe, the 70s or 80s, whenever Devilman takes place, and we get to meet our main character Akira, who is just like the greatest, like, dork of all time. I love him to death, because he's so polite. He doesn't want to get into any fights, he doesn't want to cause any trouble, but yet he's somehow friends with this Ryo character. And again, you have to keep in mind the context of the time period when this came out, because manga probably back then was not as it is now. And also, the drawings and whatnot, they're very simplistic. They're very, just a lot of headshots, with headshots talking with the panels and whatnot. And then he does do his kind of great 2-page spreads, the splash pages of big things that are going on. But a lot of the dialogue stuff is very close up, just characters' faces, not a lot of background work, things like that. But I'm not really giving it any shit for that, because again, the time period when this came out, and this was very unique. This is one of a kind, and this is what went on to inspire a lot of other manga after this. So I really do appreciate it. I appreciate its simplicity. But I really like the main character Akira, and I love how timid they make him, and I love how much of he's kind of a pussy, like his girl starts getting threatened by these bullies, and she kind of instigates it, though. She's kind of a wild card, man, this chick. Miki?
What the fuck?
But again, part of being a man is like you gotta be able to protect your woman. That's part of it. So, and he was so adverse to the violence, adverse to kind of whatever was going on. She was being threatened basically at knife point, and it took his friend Ryu showing up with a gun for them to run off, which was again hilarious and just reminded me back when I watched the dub of the anime. Oh my goodness.
Ryo, I don't think Akira should come with you. He had an accident earlier.
I don't give a shit.
And after that, we get into very exposition-heavy moments, which is about a chapter and a half of just explaining. I understand that it needs to be done, and again, because of the time period and everything where this manga came out, I cut some slack for that, but, it is kind of like, here's more information, and it just kind of starts rolling at you, and you gotta take it all in, you gotta try to interpret it, and also, it's just very in your face, it's very abrupt, it's just, I'm going to explain to you everything that is happening right now, instead of it kind of slowly unfolding over the course of the series, kind of getting more of a grasp of everything that's going on. You are kind of just shown everything right up front. But again, I know Devilman is a shorter series, so it probably works better in that aspect because of it. But you basically learn that devils had inherited the earth way before humans, and due to their integration techniques, that's kind of how they thrive, as opposed to how humans thrive through their intellect and creating technology. And they kind of show like the parallels between that, like human beings' ability to create technology, even all the way up to the atomic bomb. Well, what if there was a demon who could, do this integration thing so much and become so powerful, he becomes as powerful as an atomic bomb. So it's the same result, just two different ways of kind of achieving that power. And it kind of goes into and plays into the idea of our intelligence versus the kind of primal intelligence, basically like modern everyday intelligence, book smarts if you will, as opposed to that kind of animalistic side. And I really like how when they get to the club sequence, how everyone's partying, having a good time, and just kind of letting loose, as opposed to how it's really hard sometimes for people that think a lot, or people that are stuck in their head, or I guess people that just don't get out enough, that aren't outside enough, that just have a really hard time kind of letting loose and just letting their primal kind of animalistic side come out. And some people are very scared of their animalistic side. Some people, even some philosophies and religions will shun you for your animalistic side. Like, it's very bad of you to start doing that. It's very bad of you to feel those sexual feelings. It's very bad of you to kind of let loose and feel and experience all the things that your body can experience. It's bad. It's wrong. But it's really just, it's a way to control. It's a way to control people. And so what I really liked about this was the fact that they're down there, and you have to, in order for a demon to choose you, to merge with, and he has to, because demons are coming back basically, and Ryu wants Akira to help him kind of defeat the demons and whatnot. And to do that, they need to get the same kind of powers, same kind of ability, or at least power up to the point where they could do it. That's kind of the beginning premise anyways. In order to do this, and this was what the translation said, so it could be a different kind of word use, I'm not really sure, but the translation said that we have to get rid of reason in order to do it. So to do that, they start drinking, and they start, I don't know if it was actually alcohol that they were drinking, or if it was something else, or Ryo starts, I think he's smoking weed, I'm not really sure. I really like the panel where he was smoking though, because it was funny. He's just like, oh, it's laced with drugs. I don't know, it made me laugh. I'm not sure what it was actually supposed to be. The devil's lettuce, who knows? But it's a way to get us out of our head. It's to reach that kind of like spiritual high. Like, some people, and there's a way to go way overboard with this, but some people use weed in order to help them kind of reach that level where they're not so much in their head and they're more kind of in their body, experiencing things, just being in the present moment. It brings you into presence, because that's the thing that, takes us away from our kind of primal animalistic side, is just our kind of thought process, where we're thinking way too much, we're thinking way too much intellectually, thinking too deeply into things, when really we need to pull back and let simplicity be what it is. Just live, all right? Just eat, sleep, dance, have sex, just be a living being. That's where the purpose is, that's where the meaning is. And I like how, in order to have a demon integrate with you, you have to remove reason. You have to be like every other animal. Every other animal isn't thinking with reason. They're thinking just what their next course of action is going to be. They're just thinking in the present moment. They're being present right now, right here, right now. They're not thinking about 10 years ago. They're not thinking about 3 weeks from now. They're thinking about right now. What are we doing? And then, of course, Ryo has to take it even further, because we have to get ourselves out of this thinking reason mindset. So he literally starts murdering people, because it brings him into that real state of wildness. You don't have time to think. You are just like acting on pure impulse, and this pushes it past the point. So there's a point, right? So there's a point where you're too goody-goody, you're too goody two-shoes, right? And then there's a point of presence where you want to be, and then there's the dark side. And the dark side is that kind of, you are so far into that animalistic world that you're not even thinking about the value of life or anything else around you. You're just destroying, you're creating chaos. And Ryo starts creating chaos, and this is what brings the demons forth. And so it goes a little bit further than I think what a good message could be within that idea of removing reason, but then goes into this kind of dark demonic side, and all these people start getting possessed. And this, again, I remember from the anime, where the ladies' tits turn into mouths, and like everything goes crazy. I love it. It's amazing. And Akira is, of course, the prime candidate for a demonic possession, because he has what is Ryu calls a pure heart. And so because of that, somebody that has a pure heart, somebody that's a good person, that's just a good person that wants to do good, that doesn't want to cause harm, that is kind of that light in the darkness, if a demon were to possess them, they could still kind of maintain their humanity. So it would be a demon body, demon powers with a human heart. So that's the idea behind Devilman, and that's how Devilman is created. It's very abrupt, it's very quick, but it makes sense, and I think that it calls for, there's something good in there. There's a good storytelling dynamic in there that only somebody that's a pure heart could become a powerful demon, or a powerful enough demon to stop evil. So you still have to embrace that darker side, but you have to remain pure still, if that makes sense. So you have to be both. Again, you can't have light without darkness, and you can't have darkness without light. So you're taking the best of both worlds and finding that middle ground in order to kind of press forward and become a fucking superhero, Devilman.
You can call me Devilman!
And after that, Akira becomes a Chad. He's able to return to his kind of human form, but he still looks a lot more demonic. And then when the bullies show up again to attack Miki, he shows him up. He takes him down, and she, of course, is like way turned on by that. So you know, this is what you got to do, fellas. If you want to get chicks, you got to let yourself be possessed by a demon. All right, you have to have that kind of demon power, ability, take down the evil in the world, but still have a pure heart. That's what it's all about. It's not a man that will kill you. It's about a man that could kill you and chooses not to, right? I don't know.
What the hell is this? Some kind of a shit for brains joke?
Anyways, that was volume 1 of Devilman, and I can't wait to read more of this. There's only 5 volumes, so I'm going to get through this pretty quick. I'm going to read a lot more very soon, but I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really dug it. It gave me good kind of nostalgic feels from the old anime, which I barely remember. Again, check out the English dub if you haven't already, and I'm definitely going to continue Devilman, and I can't wait to read more and figure out what's going on, especially everything dealing with that first chapter, because that was probably the most intriguing part to me. But anyways, if you guys have read Devilman, if you're Devilman fans, what do you think? What do you think about Volume 1, everything that happens in the creation of Devilman and kind of the exposition and backstory and everything that happened with that? Let me know your thoughts, feelings down below. I know there's a lot of different versions of Devilman. I know there's crossovers and stuff. I'm just going to probably read the original series for now, and then maybe, you know, down the line I'll check out other versions or branches off of it, spin-offs of it, but for now this is all I'm going to kind of read. But very excited to get through it. Again, please give this video a thumbs up, like it, comment, subscribe if you want to stick around and see more, share it with other Devilman fans if you want to, if you guys are out there. Devilman manga fans, where are you at? Show me some love down below. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you next time.